This is the long haul, a sleep story. The year is 2283. You are the captain of the MSV Meridian, a cargo freighter running the outer circuit. You have arrived at Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Below you, the Kraken Mare Platform floats on a methane sea, a vast industrial facility, dark and steady on the amber surface. The crew will need a few hours to unload atmospheric processing equipment. The platform staff tell you that Saturn set from the western observation deck is like nothing else in the solar system. You have time. The walk is 3 kilometers across the platform. Close your eyes. Settle in. Let the journey carry you to rest. You wake to an orange light. It takes a moment to understand it. The viewport above your bunk, which has shown nothing but black and stars for days, now holds a faint amber glow, warm, diffuse, like firelight through fog. You lie still and watch it. Titan. You have arrived at Titan. The glow strengthens as your eyes adjust. It is not sunlight. Not as you know it. The sun is so far from here that it is just another star, brighter than the rest but small. This light is Titan's own, its thick atmosphere catching and scattering what little reaches it, wrapping the moon in a permanent amber haze. You swing your legs off the bunk. The ship's gravity holds you at its familiar 8/10, the centrifugal ring turning as it always does. The drive has quieted. Not silent. The Meridian is never truly silent, but the long burn from Ceres is done. You are in orbital approach now, the engines making only small corrections. The corridor is cool. Your boots sound against the deck plates. Through the porthole at the junction, you catch your first real glimpse and you stop walking. Saturn. It fills the frame, enormous, banded in cream and pale amber, soft as old parchment. The rings are a thin, bright line across its middle edge on this season, catching the distant sunlight like a wire. You stand there for a long time. You have seen Jupiter. You have seen the rust deserts of Mars from low orbit. But Saturn is different. Saturn is quiet. There is something in the softness of its color, the stillness of those bands, that asks nothing of you. It simply is vast, patient, older than anything you can name. Titan hangs in the foreground, a small orange disk against Saturn's bulk. From here it looks like a coal still glowing, held up against a pale wall. The atmosphere is visible even at this distance, a soft fringe around the solid body, blurring its edges. No sharp horizon, just a gradual fade from orange into black. The galley is warm. Okafor is already there, standing at the viewport with a mug in both hands, not drinking, just watching. She glances at you and shakes her head slowly, not in disapproval, in disbelief. She has run the belt routes for 9 years, and this is her first time at Saturn. You pour coffee. The machine hisses and ticks. The smell of it fills the small space. Dark, bitter, familiar. You carry it to the viewport and stand beside her. Neither of you speaks. The orange glow of Titan's atmosphere paints the galley walls in soft amber. It makes the steel look warm. Others drift in. Tanaka, Reeves, Park. Each one stops at the viewport. Each one goes quiet for a moment. This is rare on the circuit. Most freighters never come this far out. The Meridian is here because Kraken Mare Platform needed atmospheric processing units, and those units were sitting in a warehouse on Ceres, and someone had to carry them. The descent begins without ceremony. A gentle push from the maneuvering thrusters. The viewport fills with orange. Not a sharp transition, a slow deepening. First the stars dim, then Saturn blurs, then the black of space is replaced entirely by amber haze, thick and featureless, as though someone has drawn a curtain of colored light across the universe. The ship shudders, just slightly. The atmosphere is thin this high, but it is there, pressing against the hull, and you can hear it, a low whisper, like wind heard from deep inside a building. Titan has weather. Titan has wind. Titan has rain, though the rain is liquid methane and it falls from orange clouds onto a frozen world. The haze darkens as you descend. The orange deepens to bronze, then to a dim copper. The viewport shows nothing but murk. You are inside the atmosphere now, wrapped in it, and for a long minute there is no surface, no sky, no horizon, just color. Just the soft glow of a world made of hydrocarbons and nitrogen and coal. Then the murk thins. The base of the cloud layer gives way, and below you, stretching to every horizon, is the sea. Kraken Mare, dark amber, almost black, flat and still. It looks like oil. It looks like something that has never been disturbed. A sea of liquid methane, cold beyond imagining, on a moon 1.4 billion kilometers from the sun. The platform appears. A dark shape on the dark sea, rectangular, industrial. Lights at its edges, amber and white, reflecting off the liquid surface. It is larger than you expected. The Kraken Mare Platform is a city in miniature, a floating structure anchored to the seabed far below, riding the slow swells of a methane ocean. The meridian settles toward it. The descent is gentle now, almost tender. You feel the landing struts extend through the vibration in the deck. The dock arms reach up from the platform like open hands. There is a soft clank, then another, then the steady pressure of clamps engaging. The ship rocks once gently on the methane sea. You have landed on Titan. The airlock cycles. The indicator shifts from red to amber to green. You step through into the dock module, and the first thing you notice is the cold. Not a draft, not a chill, a presence. The cold of Titan radiates through the walls like something alive, minus 179 degrees, just beyond the hull plating. The gravity changes the moment you leave the meridian's centrifugal ring, 1/7 of Earth, lighter than the moon. Your first step carries you further than you intended, and you catch yourself on the railing. The second step is slower, more careful. By the third, you are beginning to understand. Your body is astonishingly light. Each movement has a dreamlike quality, a softness, as though the air itself is holding you. The dock module is functional. Steel grating underfoot, pipes running along the ceiling. The lighting is warm but utilitarian. A woman in a gray jumpsuit meets you at the far end. She introduces herself as Vasquez, Platform Operations. Her handshake is firm. She has the look of someone who has been here long enough that this place is home. She tells you the crew can begin unloading in 20 minutes. The atmospheric processing units will take 3 to 4 hours to transfer. She says it as though offering you a gift. 3 to 4 hours on the platform. Time to walk. Time to see Saturn set from the observation deck. Her eyes brighten when she says it. Everyone's due, she tells you. You step out of the dock module and onto the main platform. The floor is textured composite, warm enough to walk on, insulated against the cold that waits beneath. Through the viewport to your left, the methane sea. Dark amber, slow heavy swells, each one taking 10 or 15 seconds to pass. The liquid is denser than water. Everything here moves with a deliberate, unhurried weight. The sky above the viewport is orange, not bright. Not the orange of a sunset or a flame. A thick, even muted orange like light passing through layers of tinted glass. There is no blue here, no white clouds, no sun visible through the haze. Just that pervasive amber glow, sourceless and constant, the color of a world wrapped in methane and nitrogen. You walk slowly. The low gravity makes each step a small event. Your foot lifts, travels, and settles with a patience that your body is not accustomed to. There is no rush in it. The gravity itself seems to be asking you to take your time. You feel tall. You feel light. You feel like you could walk forever without tiring. The air inside the platform smells of recycled atmosphere. Machine oil. Something faintly chemical that you cannot quite name. A sweetness at the edge of it, like solvent, like the ghost of hydrocarbons. It is not unpleasant, it is simply the smell of a place built to exist where nothing living should. The platform rocks. You feel it now, a gentle tilt, barely perceptible, as a swell passes beneath. The motion is so slow it is almost subliminal. A rise, a pause, a settling. The methane sea moving in its ancient rhythm, and the platform riding it like a raft on dark water. You touch the viewport glass as you pass. It is cold. Not dangerously so. The insulation keeps it above freezing, but cold enough to surprise you. A reminder, beyond this glass, beyond the hull, the temperature is minus 179 degrees. The methane sea would freeze your hand solid in seconds. This warmth around you is borrowed, maintained. A small pocket of life in an ocean of cold. A corridor branches to the right, marked with yellow chevrons and a sign reading Main Concourse. You follow it. The passage widens. The ceiling rises, and then the viewports open up on both sides and you are walking between two walls of glass with the methane sea visible to the left and right, dark and flat, stretching to the haze on every horizon. The concourse is long and straight, perhaps 300 meters. The floor is smooth composite, your footsteps soft in the low gravity. Other people move along it, platform staff in gray jumpsuits, walking with the easy, floating gait of those who have adapted to 1/7 gravity. They nod as they pass. There is no hurry here. There is nowhere to hurry to. You stop at a viewport and watch the sea. A swell approaches from the west, dark and broad, its surface catching the amber light. It passes beneath the platform with that same slow deliberation. The methane is denser than water. Its waves move with a heaviness, a reluctance, as though the liquid itself is thick with something. It is. Hydrocarbons, ethane, dissolved nitrogen, a sea of chemistry, cold and sterile and beautiful. Nothing lives in that sea. The thought settles into you as you watch. No fish, no algae, no microbes, as far as anyone has found. The methane is too cold, the chemistry too alien. It is a sea in shape and motion only, a geological feature, a landscape of liquid on a world that has never known life. The absence is not sad, exactly. It is simply vast. Ahead, a small crowd has gathered at a section of the concourse where the floor changes. The composite gives way to glass. You approach and look down. The methane sea is directly below you, 4 meters down, dark amber and moving. The wave window, a sign reads. You can see the underside of the platform, struts, cables, the gentle curve of a pontoon, and beyond it the liquid surface catching the orange light in slow ripples. A wave crests. The dark liquid rises and touches the underside of the glass. You step back instinctively, though you know the glass is rated for pressures far beyond this. Someone beside you laughs softly. They did the same thing their first time, they say. Everyone does. You stand at the edge of the glass floor and watch. The methane slides beneath you, dark and slow. Each wave catches the orange haze light on its crest and holds it for a moment before rolling on. The liquid is so dark it is nearly black in the troughs. There is no foam, no spray. The surface tension of methane is different. The waves are smooth, rounded, almost oily in their motion. Beyond the wave window, the concourse leads to an observation gallery overlooking the processing plant. You step up to the railing, below you enormous machinery. Intake stacks rising through the ceiling and up into the orange haze above. Compressors the size of houses, humming with a low, steady vibration you feel in your chest. This is what the platform is for. This is why anyone is here at all. Titan's atmosphere is 95% nitrogen, 5% methane, with traces of ethane and hydrogen. The processing plant pulls it in, separates it, compresses it, and stores it. The nitrogen becomes propellant. The methane becomes fuel and chemical feedstock. A world made of the raw materials the inner system runs on, floating 1.4 billion kilometers from Earth. The hum of the compressors fills the gallery. It is deep and even, felt more than heard, a vibration that enters through the soles of your feet and settles in your bones. You lean on the railing and let it wash through you. It is not unlike the Meridian's drive. A machine sound, a working sound. The sound of purpose, steady and unceasing, in a place where silence would mean something has gone wrong. You move on. The concourse narrows again and turns, following the edge of the platform. Through the viewports, the sea, always the sea. It is the one constant here, the dark amber surface, the slow swells, the orange sky above. No shoreline, no land. Kraken Mare is larger than the Caspian Sea. From the platform, the horizon is methane in every direction. A door-marked crew module stands open. Beyond it, the corridor changes. The walls are painted a soft green. There are photographs, a notice board with a shift schedule, and a hand-drawn cartoon of someone slipping in low gravity. The air is warmer here and carries a different smell. Food, something cooking, something with garlic. The common room is large and low-ceilinged, couches in a semicircle around a table. A bookshelf, actual paper books, spines cracked and faded. A screen on the wall showing a feed from an exterior camera, the methane sea in real time. 40 people live on this platform. This is where they come to be human. Photographs line one wall group shots. In each one, a cluster of people in gray jumpsuits standing before a viewport, the amber light of Titan behind them. Dates are written beneath. They go back 12 years. Saturn set photographs, someone tells you. Every time Saturn sets over the western horizon, whoever is on shift gathers at the observation deck for a picture. It is the platform's oldest tradition. The cook is a man named Herrera. He is making mushroom soup. The mushrooms are grown on the platform, he says, in a substrate made from recycled organic waste. He is proud of them. He holds one up for you to see, pale, firm, surprisingly large. On Titan, he says, everything grows slowly, but it grows well. The low gravity does something to the cell structure. He is not a scientist, he just knows what he sees. On a shelf near the kitchen window sits a bonsai tree. Small, a juniper, carefully shaped, its trunk curved and ancient-looking despite being no more than a decade old. A gift, Herrera says, from a woman who used to run the Mars supply route. She brought it all the way from Pavonis Mons. It is the only tree within 1.4 billion kilometers. You accept a bowl of the mushroom soup. It is good, earthy, warm. You sit at the table and eat slowly, the low gravity making the spoon feel weightless in your hand. Through the viewport, the methane sea rolls past. The platform shifts gently beneath you. The soup steams. For a moment, this could be anywhere. A fishing platform, a coastal station. Somewhere ordinary and far from home. A woman sits across from you. She introduces herself as Lynn. She has been on the platform for 3 years. 3 years on a floating structure on a methane sea, under an orange sky, with 40 other people. You ask her what it is like. She thinks for a long time. Quiet, she says. It is the quietest place I have ever been. She tells you about the rhythm of the platform. The shifts, the meals, the maintenance rotations, the way the orange light never really changes, never brightens today or darkens tonight as you would know it. Titan's day is nearly 16 Earth days long. The light shifts are glacial. You learn to measure time by other means, by meals, by shifts, by the slow progress of Saturn across the sky. She tells you about the storms, methane rain. It falls in large, slow drops. The low gravity stretches them into shapes more like teardrops than spheres. It hits the sea with a sound like something tapping on fabric. Soft, persistent. It can last for days. She says it is the most peaceful sound she has ever heard. You thank her for the conversation and the soup and move on. The corridor from the common room leads deeper into the crew module. The green walls continue. There are personal touches, a drawing taped to a door, a string of small paper lanterns above a doorway, unlit. People making a home in a place that was never meant to be one. The hydroponics bay is through a heavy door at the end of the corridor. You push it open and the air changes instantly. Warm, humid, alive. After the recycled dryness of the platform, it is like stepping into a greenhouse on Earth. The smell of soil and green things and water. Your lungs fill with it gratefully. Rows of growing trays line the bay, lettuce, spinach, tomatoes in various stages of ripeness, from hard green to deep red. Herbs, basil, thyme, something that might be coriander. The grow lights above cast a warm white glow that is startling after the pervasive amber of Titan's light. Under these lamps, the colors are vivid. True, green is green again. At the far end of the bay, marigolds, bright orange and yellow planted in a long tray, blooming extravagantly. They serve no nutritional purpose. They are here for morale. Someone decided years ago that a floating platform on a methane sea 1.4 billion kilometers from the sun needed flowers. And they were right. You stand in front of them and breathe in their faint, peppery scent. The water system trickles softly. In the low gravity, the water moves differently through the tubes, slower, clinging to surfaces, forming larger droplets. A bead of condensation on a lettuce leaf is the size of a marble. It catches the grow light and holds it, a tiny sphere of brightness in a room full of green. You watch it for longer than you intend to. You leave the hydroponics bay reluctantly. The door closes behind you, and the warm humidity gives way to the dry, faintly chemical air of the platform. The orange light returns. The low hum of the compressors, which you had stopped noticing, reasserts itself. You are back in Titan's world, the world of cold and methane and amber haze. A sign points to the western observation deck, an arrow and a distance marker, 1.2 kilometers. You follow it. The corridor widens into another section of the concourse, viewports on both sides, the methane sea stretching away under its orange sky. The swells have picked up slightly. The platform's motion is a little more pronounced, a gentle rocking that you feel in your knees. You pass a maintenance crew working on a section of wall panel. Their tools float slightly when set down, drifting in the low gravity before settling. One of them has a radio playing, music, something old, strings and a piano. The sound carries down the concourse, soft and distant, mixing with the hum of the compressors and the faint creak of the platform structure as it rides the swells. Through the viewport, something catches your eye. Far out on the methane sea, a disturbance, a darker patch on the dark surface, spreading and contracting. You watch. It takes a moment to understand rain, methane rain, falling from the orange sky onto the methane sea. A circle of dimpled surface expanding slowly. You cannot hear it through the glass, but you can imagine it. That soft tapping sound Lynn described. The rain passes. The dark circle drifts eastward, carried by winds you cannot feel, and the sea surface smooths again. Everything here happens slowly. The swells, the rain, the light. Even thought seems to slow on Titan, as though the cold and the distance and the orange haze have seeped inside you, gently, and asked you to be still. The concourse curves westward. The viewports on the left now face the direction of Saturn. Though the planet is not visible from this level, the haze is too thick, the atmosphere too dense. Saturn is above the haze line. To see it, you need to go up. The observation deck is at the top of a tower on the platform's western edge. You can see the tower ahead through the viewport, a narrow column rising into the orange murk. You walk. The low gravity carries you forward in long, easy strides. Your reflection moves in the viewport glass, a dark shape against the orange. Behind you, the processing stacks rise into the haze, trailing wisps of vapor. Ahead, the tower grows larger. The concourse is nearly empty now. Most of the platform's activity is behind you, at the dock and the processing plant. Here, near the western edge, it is quiet. The quiet of Titan is particular. It is not the silence of space, which is absolute, nor the silence of the meridian, which always carries the engine's hum. This is the quiet of a world, an atmosphere pressing against the walls, a sea moving beneath the floor, wind somewhere above, pushing through methane clouds. There is sound here, but all of it is muffled, distant, as though heard through layers of heavy cloth. You reach the base of the tower. A wide space opens around the elevator shaft. Benches line the walls. A viewport looks out over the sea to the west. The amber light here is slightly different, warmer, deeper. You realize the orange haze to the west is brighter than the rest. Saturn is there, somewhere above the murk, and its reflected light is adding a golden undertone to the haze. A man sits on one of the benches, reading. He looks up as you approach the elevator. Going up for Saturn's set, he says. It is not a question. He smiles. You are early, he tells you, but that is good. The best part is before it begins, when the light starts to change and you do not yet know what you are about to see. You press the call button. The elevator arrives with a soft chime. The doors open onto a transparent car, glass walls, glass ceiling, glass floor. You step in. The doors close. The car begins to rise. The platform falls away beneath you. Through the glass floor you watch the concourse shrink, the sea spreading out on all sides, dark and vast. The amber haze thickens around the car as you rise. The platform becomes a shadow below. The processing stacks pass by, close enough to touch, their surfaces beaded with condensation that glints amber in the haze light. The haze thickens. The world outside the glass becomes a featureless orange. You are inside Titan's atmosphere now, truly inside it, suspended in a column of nitrogen and methane. The car continues to climb. Your ears do not pop. The elevator is pressurized, but you feel the height in some instinctive way. You are leaving the surface behind. Then the haze begins to thin. The orange pales, brightens, and through the thinning murk, a shape emerges, a curve, a band of color. Gold cream, amber, your breath catches. You are rising above the haze line, and Saturn is appearing before you, piece by piece, like a painting being unveiled. The elevator clears the haze, and there it is, Saturn, filling the western sky. 11 times larger than the moon appears from Earth. You have to turn your head to take it all in. The disk is immense, banded in shades of gold and cream and pale amber, the color soft, the edges blurred. The rings are a thin bright line across its center, edge on this season, catching the light like a thread of silver drawn through gold. The elevator stops. The doors open. You step out onto the observation deck and you do not move for a long time. You simply stand there, looking west, your hands at your sides, your breathing slow. Saturn hangs in the sky like something that should not exist, too large, too beautiful, too still. The observation deck is a dome, transparent on all sides. Padded benches curve in a semicircle facing west. The floor is carpeted, a small luxury, soft under your feet after the hard composite of the concourse. The lighting is dim, warm, unobtrusive. Everything here is designed to disappear, to make you forget you are inside a structure at all, to leave nothing between you and the sky. You sit. The bench is angled slightly backward, tilted to face the sky. In the low gravity, you settle into it like sinking into water. Your body feels weightless. The bench holds you gently. Below the dome, the haze stretches in every direction, a floor of orange mist, smooth and even, and above it, the clear dark sky of Titan's upper atmosphere, and Saturn. Always Saturn. Others are here. 5 or 6 people, seated on the benches, all facing west. No one is speaking. There is nothing to say. The planet speaks for itself. It hangs in the sky with a stillness that is almost hypnotic. The bands move, storms and winds thousands of kilometers wide, but from here they appear motionless, painted on, fixed in amber and cream and gold. The rings. You keep returning to the rings from this angle. This season they are nearly edge-on. A thin, bright line bisecting the planet, so sharp it looks drawn with a rule. You know they are made of ice and rock, billions of fragments in orbit. But from here they are simply a line of light. Bright, clean, impossibly precise against the soft bands of the planet below. The light begins to change. You notice it gradually. The amber of the haze below takes on a deeper tone. The bands of Saturn warm. Gold becomes old gold. Cream becomes honey. The planet is descending toward the haze line, and as it does, the light it catches shifts. Saturn's set has begun. It is slow, extraordinarily slow. The planet moves toward the horizon at a pace that makes Earth's sunsets look hurried. Titan's rotation is measured in days, not hours. Saturn will take hours to set, hours, and you have nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. You settle deeper into the bench and let the slowness wash over you. The lower edge of Saturn touches the haze. Not the horizon. There is no sharp horizon here. The haze line. The boundary where the thick lower atmosphere gives way to the thinner upper air. The planet begins to sink into it. The bottom of the disk blurs, softens, dissolves into the orange mist. It is like watching something being lowered into golden water. The light on the haze intensifies. Where Saturn meets the mist, the orange deepens to a rich, luminous gold. The haze itself seems to glow from within, as though the methane and nitrogen are burning with a light they have borrowed from the sinking planet. It is the color of old honey, of amber held up to a candle, of something precious and warm. Below the dome, through a gap in the haze, you catch a glimpse of the methane sea, and it is transformed. The dark amber surface has caught Saturn's golden light and holds it. The sea is gilded. Every swell carries a crest of gold. Every trough holds a deeper shade, bronze and copper. A sea of liquid methane, lit by a setting gas giant, on a moon at the edge of the solar system. You are watching something that almost no one has ever seen. The rings catch the light differently. As Saturn descends, the thin bright line begins to glow. It is above the haze still, catching direct light from a sun that is barely more than a bright star from here, and the contrast makes it brilliant. A wire of white fire across the face of the sinking planet. You cannot look away from it. Someone sighs. You do not turn to see who it is, the sound of someone who has been holding their breath without knowing it. You realize you have been doing the same. You exhale slowly. The bench holds you. The dome holds you. Saturn fills the sky before you, half above the haze, half dissolving into it, and the golden light pours through the transparent walls and paints everything warm. The bands are more visible now. The low angle of the light brings them into relief. You can see the subtle differences, a wider band of pale gold, a narrow stripe of darker amber, a thread of cream. Storms the size of Earth moving in silence. Weather systems older than human civilization, turning and turning in the atmosphere of a planet made almost entirely of hydrogen and helium. Time passes. You are not sure how much. The light deepens. The gold becomes burnished. A richer, heavier color, like the last light of a fire settling into coals. Saturn is more than half below the haze now. The disk shrinks slowly. The rings still glow above it, defiant, holding their brightness against the gathering dark. The color of the haze shifts. The gold gives way to something deeper. Orange. Not the flat orange of the daytime haze, but a living orange, luminous and layered, with depths of red and copper moving through it. The sky above the haze darkens to a deep brown, and through it, stars begin to appear. Faint. Steady. Watching the same thing you're watching. You let your head rest against the back of the bench. Your body is so light in this gravity. The bench cradles you. The golden light fills the dome, fills your vision, fills the space behind your eyes when you blink. It is warm light, despite coming from a world of frozen gas. It warms you in some way that has nothing to do with temperature. A quarter of Saturn remains above the haze. The upper bands, the rings, the curve of the planet's edge against the darkening sky. It is like watching a coin being slowly pushed through a table. The lower portion gone, absorbed by the golden mist, the upper portion still catching the light, still glowing, still impossibly large and impossibly quiet. The person beside you, you had not noticed them arrive, is weeping. Silently, not in sadness. You understand. You do not look at them. You look at the sky. There are things that are too large for the mind to hold, and when it encounters them, it overflows. This is one of those things, this slow, golden sinking, this ancient planet descending through an alien haze above a sea of methane. This is one of those things. The light on the methane sea below is deepening. Through the gaps in the haze you can see it. The swells are no longer gold but copper. Deep, burnished copper with threads of darker color in the troughs. The crests still catch a last golden brightness. The sea looks like molten metal, like something poured from a furnace and left to cool, slow and heavy, under an orange sky. The rings begin to dim. As the disk sinks lower, the thin, bright line follows it toward the haze. But the rings still catch a trace of light, a faint glow, silver gold, like the last ember of something burning out. You watch the line thin, watch it soften, watch it begin to merge with the golden mist below. Only the top of Saturn remains, a sliver, a bright arc against the darkening sky, glowing with a deep, rich gold that is almost red. The bands are no longer distinguishable. The planet is reduced to a curve of light, a closing eye, sinking with a patience that borders on the eternal. The haze holds the light. Even as the disk disappears, the orange mist where Saturn was is luminous. It glows from within as though the planet has left its warmth behind. The gold spreads along the haze line, a band of brightness stretching to the north and south, fading gradually into the deeper orange of the surrounding sky. Saturn is gone. The disk has set, but the sky does not darken. Not yet. Titan's atmosphere is too thick, too dense, and the light it has captured lingers. The western sky holds a deep, warm glow, orange shading to red at the edges, gold at the center where the planet was. It is an afterglow, a memory of light held in methane and nitrogen, slowly, slowly fading. You sit in the afterglow. Your breathing is deep and even. The bench holds your weightless body. The dome is quiet. No one has moved. No one has spoken. The golden light fades by degrees, each shade imperceptibly darker than the last. And the silence on the observation deck is the silence of people who have seen something together and do not need to speak of it. The stars brighten above the haze. The sky has deepened to a dark amber, almost brown, and through it the stars are appearing, one by one, sharp and steady. No twinkling. Titan's upper atmosphere is too thin to cause it. The stars are points of perfect light, fixed in the dark sky above the glowing haze. The methane sea below has lost its gold. Through the dome's floor, through the thinning gaps in the haze, the sea is dark again, dark amber, almost black. The swells continue. They always continue, but without Saturn's light they are visible only as subtle shifts in the darkness, a faint sheen on a crest, a deeper shadow in a trough. The sea has returned to itself. The afterglow narrows. The band of gold on the western horizon contracts, deepening to orange, to a red so deep it is almost purple at the edges. It is the last of it, the last visible light of Saturn's passage. You watch it the way you would watch the last coals of a fire, not wanting it to end, not fighting it either, just watching. Someone stands. Quietly, they gather their jacket and walk to the elevator. The doors open, admit them, and close. Then another person rises, then another. They move like people leaving a cathedral, slowly, gently, carrying something with them that they did not have when they arrived. You stay. The dome is nearly empty now. The afterglow has faded to a dim orange band, barely distinguishable from the haze around it. The stars above are bright and steady. You are alone, or nearly, on an observation deck, on a tower, on a floating platform, on a methane sea, on a moon of Saturn. The thought is too large. You let it go, you simply sit. The last of the afterglow fades. The haze is a uniform dim orange now, the same in every direction. Above it, the dark sky. Below it, the dark sea. You are suspended between two darknesses, held in a sphere of faintly glowing air, and the stillness is so complete that you can hear your own heartbeat. Slow, steady, the only rhythm left. You understand now why they stay. The platform staff. 3 years, Lynn said. Some longer. It is not the work. It is not the pay. It is this. This moment. This silence on a world where nothing lives. Where the sea is made of methane, and the sky is made of haze, and the largest planet in your sky sets in gold and takes hours to do it. This is why they stay. You rise from the bench. Your legs are light. In the 1/7 gravity, standing feels like floating. You move to the elevator, press the button. The doors open. You step in and the glass car begins its descent, carrying you down into the orange haze, away from the stars, back toward the platform and the sea. The haze closes around you. The stars disappear. The orange thickens. You descend through it like sinking into warm water, the dim glow surrounding you on all sides, featureless and soft. The platform appears below, its lights, its structures, the dark sea beyond. The elevator slows and stops. The doors open onto the base of the tower. The concourse is dim. The overhead lights have shifted to a nighttime mode, low, warm, casting soft pools on the composite floor. Through the viewports, the methane sea is nearly black. The amber glow of the haze gives just enough light to show the swells, rising and falling in their slow, patient rhythm. The platform rocks gently beneath your feet. You walk. The concourse is empty. Your footsteps are soft and widely spaced in the low gravity, each one carrying you further than it should. The hum of the compressors is distant now, a low background note, steady and unchanging. The platform creaks softly around you, metal and composite adjusting to the swells, the temperature, the slow rhythms of a methane ocean. You pass the wave window. The glass floor is dark now. The methane sea beneath it is barely visible, a faint sheen, a suggestion of movement. You stop and stand on the glass and look down into the darkness. The sea is there, moving, breathing. A world of cold hydrocarbon, patient and indifferent and old beyond reckoning. The crew module door is closed now. Through the small window you can see the green corridor, the photographs, a light left on somewhere deep inside. You do not go in. You continue along the concourse. The viewports show the dim orange world outside, the haze, the sea, the platform lights reflecting off the dark liquid surface in long wavering columns. The processing plant is still running. It never stops. The compressors hum. The intake stacks draw in the orange atmosphere. The work of extracting fuel and feedstock from Titan's air continues through every hour of the long, slow day. The hum is a comfort now, a constant, something reliable in a place of alien beauty. You approach the dock module, the yellow chevrons on the wall, the narrowing corridor. The temperature drops slightly as you near the exterior hull. That cold pressing in from outside, 179 degrees below zero, patient and vast, waiting beyond the walls as it has waited for billions of years. The dock. The Meridian is still clamped in the articulated arms. Through the viewport, the ship looks different in the dim orange light, its hull catching the haze glow, its running lights steady and white against the amber. It looks like it has always been here, like it grew from the platform, like it is part of this world. The airlock opens, you step through. The gravity shifts as you enter the Meridian's centrifugal ring, heavier now. The familiar 8/10 pulling you back into your body. Your legs feel solid again. Your steps are shorter, firmer. The dreamlike lightness of Titan is gone. You are back in the ship's world, the ship's weight, the ship's air. The Meridian's air smells different to you now. After the platform, after the faint chemical sweetness and the recycled dryness, the ship's atmosphere is rich, familiar. Coffee and metal and the warm plastic of the ventilation ducts. The smell of home. You breathe it in deeply. Your lungs know this air. Your body knows this place. The corridor is quiet. The crew is aboard. You can hear distant voices from the galley, a laugh, the sound of a cabinet closing. The unloading is done. The atmospheric processing units have been delivered. The Meridian's hold is lighter, and the ship sits differently in the dock clamps, riding higher on the dark methane sea. You stop at the galley. Okafor is there, and Tanaka and Park. They have mugs of tea. They are quiet but not tired. They have the look of people who have seen something remarkable and are still carrying it. Okafor catches your eye. She raises her mug. You nod. No words needed. You all saw it. The golden light, the sinking planet, the silence. You pour yourself tea. The warmth of the mug in your hands is grounding, real. The ship hums around you, the life support, the ventilation, the distant tick of the cooling system. Outside, through the galley viewport, the orange haze of Titan. Inside, the warm light, the quiet crew, the steam rising from your tea. Two worlds separated by a hull and 179 degrees. You make your way to the cabin. The corridor is dim. The overhead lights have shifted to their night cycle, low, warm, amber. Your cabin door opens to your touch. The small space is exactly as you left it. The bunk, the desk, the viewport, the folded blanket, everything in its place. Through the viewport, Titan's orange haze, dimmer now. The twilight of a world that measures its days in Earth weeks. The haze still holds a faint glow, the residual light scattered and rescattered through hundreds of kilometers of atmosphere. It will be hours before true darkness comes, and even then the orange never fully fades. Titan is never truly dark. You sit on the edge of the bunk and unlace your boots. The familiar motions, the familiar sounds, the creak of the bunk frame, the soft thud of boots set on the deck. The rustle of the blanket as you pull it back. Your body knows this routine. It does not need your mind to guide it. Your mind is still on the observation deck, still watching the golden light. You lie down. The bunk takes your weight. The blanket settles over you. Through the viewport, the orange glow is soft and steady, painting the ceiling of your cabin in amber. It is like sleeping inside a lantern. Warm light, no shadows, the color of a world wrapped in its own atmosphere, holding its own faint warmth against the cold of space. The drive hum begins low. barely there. The maneuvering thrusters firing as the ship prepares to lift from the dock. You feel the clamps release a series of soft clunks, transmitted through the hull, through the bunk frame, through your body. The meridian shifts, rocks once on the methane sea, then steadies. The ship rises. You feel it as a gentle pressure, a subtle shift in the gravity. The platform falls away below. Through the viewport, the orange haze brightens as the ship climbs the dim twilight of the surface, giving way to the deeper, richer glow of the upper atmosphere. The meridian is rising through Titan's sky like a bubble through amber liquid. The haze thins. The orange pales. Stars appear at the edges of the viewport, faint at first, then sharper. The atmosphere is letting go of you, releasing the ship back into the black. The last of the orange clings to the lower edge of the viewport, a band of amber light. The curve of Titan's atmosphere seen from above, glowing softly against the dark. Then the drive engages fully. The hum deepens. The steady, familiar note of the main engine pushing the meridian away from Saturn and its moons toward the inner system. Mars Valles Marineris, days away, weeks. The drive does not care about distance. It simply pushes, steady, patient, a machine doing what it was built to do. The viewport holds the last of Titan, a small orange disk, growing smaller, its atmosphere a soft fringe of amber light around a dark body. It looks from here like something precious, a gemstone, an ember, a world that glows with its own quiet light in the vast dark between planets. Your eyelids are heavy. The bunk holds you. The blanket is warm across your chest. The drive hums. It is the same hum that has carried you from port to port across the solar system, from Earth to Mars, from Mars to Ceres, from Ceres to here. It is the sound of transit, the sound of the space between places. This sound, for you, of home. Titan shrinks in the viewport. The orange glow softens, dims. The dark body of the moon merges with the dark of space until only the atmospheric fringe remains, a ring of amber light, thin and delicate, fading at the edges. Saturn is behind it now, vast and pale, but you cannot see it from this angle. You do not need to. It is behind your eyes, printed there, gold on dark. The cabin is warm, the ventilation hums, the air moves across your face in a soft, barely perceptible current, carrying the warmth of the ship's systems, the faint scent of coffee from the galley, the clean metallic undertone of recycled air. These are the small things, the things you do not notice until you are lying still, the things that hold you. You think of the methane sea, the slow swells, the dark amber surface catching golden light. You think of how the waves moved, heavy, deliberate, smooth as poured glass. You think of the wave window, the liquid rising to touch the glass beneath your feet. A sea no one can swim in, a sea no one can touch, a sea of chemistry, cold and beautiful. You think of the marigolds, bright orange and yellow in the hydroponics bay, flowers blooming on a floating platform on a methane sea, the absurdity of it, the beauty of it. Someone decided that this place needed flowers, and they were right, and the flowers grew, and they bloom still, 1.4 billion kilometers from the nearest garden on Earth. You think of Saturn, the disk filling the western sky, the bands of gold and cream, the rings, that thin, impossible line of light. The moment it began to sink, the light changing, gold to amber to copper to red, the haze holding the color like a glass holds wine. The silence on the observation deck, the stillness of people watching something too large for words. The drive hums. Your body is heavy in the bunk. The ship's gravity is a gentle hand, pressing you into the mattress, holding you steady. The centrifugal ring turns, the engines push, The meridian is moving again, crossing the dark space between worlds, and you are carried inside it like a seed inside a shell. The viewport is dark now. Titan has faded. There are only stars, sharp and white and motionless. The familiar constellations, shifted slightly from their Earth positions by the distance, but still recognizable. Still the same stars that have watched over every port, and every transit and every quiet night in this cabin since the journey began. Your breathing slows. Each breath comes deeper, longer. The air fills your lungs and leaves again in a rhythm that matches the hum of the drive. Your heartbeat has settled into its resting pace, slow, steady, a quiet drum in a quiet room in a quiet ship in the quiet dark between Saturn and Mars. The blanket is warm, the fabric is soft against your skin. You pull it higher to your chin and the warmth gathers around you. The bunk holds you, the ship holds you, the dark holds you. Everything is still, everything is gentle, everything is moving, but moving so slowly and so steadily that it feels like perfect rest. You think, distantly, of the platform staff, Lynn, Herrera, Vasquez, 40 people on a floating city, far from everything, tending machines and growing mushrooms and watching Saturn set in gold over a methane sea, the quiet of their lives, the particular piece of a place where nothing changes quickly and the beauty comes slow and stays long. Your thoughts are softening, losing their edges. The images drift, the orange haze, the dark sea, the golden disk of Saturn, the thin bright line of the rings, and they blur into one another, each one fading into the next like colors in the sky at Saturn set. You do not try to hold them, you let them go. The drive hums. It is the only sound now, low and even and unchanging. A note held so steadily it becomes part of the silence rather than a break in it. The hum is the ship. The ship is the hum, and you are inside it, held and carried and warm. The cabin dims. The last light from the viewport is gone. There is only the faint glow of the status panel on the wall, green and amber, the ship's systems running, life support nominal, drive steady, all well. The colors are soft, barely there, just enough to know that the ship is alive and working and carrying you forward through the dark. Your body is sinking, not falling, sinking, into the mattress, into the warmth, into the hum. The gravity holds you gently. 8/10, just enough to feel anchored, just enough to feel held. The weight of the blanket on your chest rises and falls with your breathing, slow and steady, slow and steady. Sleep is close. You can feel it at the edges, a softening, a loosening. The last thoughts drift like the slow swells of the methane sea, rising, pausing, settling. The golden light of Saturn set plays behind your closed eyelids, fading, dimming, folding gently into the dark. The meridian carries you, through the dark between worlds, through the cold between planets. The hull keeps out the vacuum, the drive keeps up its note, the air circulates, the warmth holds. 11 souls asleep in a ship, crossing the space between Saturn and Mars, and the universe is vast and quiet around them. You are drifting now. The boundary between waking and sleep has blurred, the way the orange haze blurred the boundary between Titan's sky and Titan's surface. No sharp line, no sudden change, just a gradual deepening, a gentle descent, a slow settling into rest. The hum is there, the warmth is there, the dark is there, and somewhere far behind you, growing smaller with every passing hour, a moon wrapped in orange haze floats above a methane sea, and Saturn hangs in its sky, and the golden light touches the dark liquid surface, and the platform rides the slow swells, and the marigolds bloom. Sleep comes. It comes the way Saturn set, slowly, gently, without hurry. It comes like a swell on a methane sea, rising and carrying you with it, lifting you softly from the surface of waking and bearing you down into the deep and the dark and the still. The hum, the warmth, the dark. The memory of golden light on a methane sea. Sleep now. The meridian carries you on. The meridian rises through the orange haze and the platform falls away beneath you, a dark shape on a darker sea. Saturn is behind you now, somewhere below the stern viewport, already smaller than it was. The next port is Mars, Valles Marineris, a canyon so wide it holds its own weather. But that is days away, and the drive hums its steady note, and the cabin is warm, and the bunk holds you gently in the ship's centrifugal gravity. The golden light of Titan's methane sea stays with you, softening, dimming, folding into the quiet rhythm of the engines and the deep stillness of sleep. Sleep now, the meridian carries you on. Good night.